for everybody, in whatever circumstances, is to psycho ourselves. In whatever situation, even when we go to the dentist, shivering away waiting, we have to psycho ourselves, right? So that was what I started to do. To accept him regardlessly. I didn't say love, okay? I said accept. To accept him and try to move on with life. How was this to be done when I knew nothing? No way did I find anyone that could come in to help. So I had to find my way instead of waiting for help to come in. And that was when I started flipping through books, magazines, newspapers, and one day I chanced on the telephone directory, which turned, I don't know how, it came up to Malaysian Association of the Blind. That was where everything started off, and I spoke to the librarian. So it was from here that things took off, and the first light of stepping into the world of my son took place. To be a parent of a special needs child, every one of us must understand one thing. That is, we have to learn to be firm. It is easier said than done, because many of us see our children already they have problems. So we tend to be lenient with them. Actually, some of us pamper, but that is not the way. I realized I had to be firm. I had to make my own decision, because nobody knows my child better than I do. Not even a father in this case, because my husband works and he had to work to bring home the money. So the one who stayed on, who spent more time with the child, is no other person than me, the mother. And so I was in the position to make the decisions, what to do, what my son needs, when to do this and when to do that. At the same time, to learn to stay focused on what my goal was. Anything that I wanted to do, I made sure that I went ahead no matter what people say. There will be a lot of, like we say, kebotin, telling us all sorts of things when we have something in mind we want to do. They don't understand why we want or why we have to do such things. They look at it from a different perspective, the sighted, the normal, able-bodied, and then they make their discretion based on what they think they know. Whereas for people like us, we go by trial and error to meet that particular goal that we want to achieve. The other thing was to allow myself to try out things. Try, and if it fails, all right, look at what has been achieved from that and what I have failed in doing it. Pick up those good points and then move on, using those points to help approach another way. Leave whatever failed tries behind, not to let that drag along with me. And one thing I found really useful was the learning of Braille. I made it a point, after knowing that a blind person needs Braille, without fail, I did make myself proficient in Braille. Taking a book home from the library, a photostat copy, I went home and I learned it on my own. Step by step, every day doing the exercises until I finished everything. And that surprised the librarian one day when she asked me, "Have you learned Braille?" "Yes." "Have you finished?" "Yes." "Have you done exercises?" "Yes." "Then why didn't you show us?" "Well, you didn't ask." Then she said, "You should have showed us, then we'll see whether you have actually done it right, whether you passed." So I had to do things like that, but they were for my own good. I learned Braille and eventually mastered it. With that, the librarian told me, "Okay, you're the only parent, you're the only person I know who has voluntarily learned Braille without the help of anybody." The polka dots, I call. So from there on, she said, "Don't try to be smart." She knows me very well, the smart. "Go and transcribe storybooks into Braille so that I will keep practicing on my Braille and at the same time give these books to my son to read. Don't try to go to university, get a degree in Braille and come back with nothing to help your son." Which is true. So with a Braille machine, every night I will sit down and spend time on my Braille machine, tak, 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 until the shoulders hurt. Whoever has helped and played with a Braille machine will know how it is like to use one. So if you ladies want to learn to protect yourself in the streets, on the buses and all that, I suggest you learn Braille. It's good for your hand muscles. In anything that I did from there on, I learned to plan at least one step ahead. Not two, just one. Because we don't know if there's anything that will come our way. Just plan one step ahead so that when we have reached one particular goal, we can work on the next. But if we were to make plan 2 before we fulfill plan 1, then if plan 1 fails, we will be so disheartened we cannot move on to plan 2. So that was what we did, Colin and I, and then at the same time pulling my husband in on and off. And with all these, we did finally reach the point of seeing results. That's where you have the outcome. Now, with all these approach that we did, we here refers to my husband, Colin, and me. It takes everybody to be committed to doing what we did. If, as a mother, I do, and my child doesn't respond, we will still come to 0. If I did something and my husband did not cooperate, we will get the child all mixed up. And again, we come to nothing. So, what was it? The very first thing was to accept the situation. The child that has been born is born with that extra need of attention. And this we must all bear in mind. This child needs separate, or more like it, special care. After that, when we learn to accept the child and work with this child, see this child, groom this child, help this child, then the 4-letter word came in, LOVE. It was that difficult for me. People are normally born with love of their parents automatically. But for us, it was the other way, because the doctor had already frightened me from the start. Not to love him, not to accept him. But after 5 months, and my son was still breathing and playing, hey, I refuse to sleep at night because you all haven't given me time. And I cry and make noise and irritate all of you because you all do not give me time. You all do not talk to me. So it was after that, after we accepted him and we said, all right, we will move on from here. After accepting him and helping him, then I learned and I loved my son eventually.